reindeer, goat cheese, pizza. What's up?
What's up, everybody?
I don't know what that means.
You said you watched Hudson Hawk. I thought you would
It's from
know.
Hudson Hawk.
Oh, I don't remember.
How's it going?
You're out of the Hudson Hawk fan club, Rob. It's just me, Steve, and Maggie now. There's three of us now.
We don't want.
I haven't watched.
We don't
it
want
that
people
many
that
times. No, I did not watch Hudson Hawk,
I watched
I
it
wanted
2.5
to.
times this week.
and I forgot. I was too busy. It's
Like,
working
Maggie
12
put it
hours
on.
a day.
Maggie put it on when after she heard me yelling quotes last week, so I watched it with her, and then I watched the first half like a couple days later, and then me and her sat down and watched it again. Like, I don't know, it's so good. It's such an overlooked gem.
Outside of a friendly dog yesterday morning, it's been a slow decade. That's probably like my favorite one.
Oh, I watched Speed Racer. I did watch Speed Racer.
You
That
said
was- That's good.
Yeah, you watched it again?
Did I say that last podcast?
One of
Yeah,
them.
you said that 2 weeks ago.
Well, then that's the last thing I watched besides He-Man.
And whatever was on USA.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched hardly anything.
I'm just anticipating your scorching hot take on He-Man. From your text, I'm like, I think he liked it at first, and now he's getting angry. But
Oh, you liked it at first. I didn't get that impression at all.
Sean's like, we're not even talking comics. We're talking He-Man. I was like, okay.
I think Clerks lost points.
You think so? Oh, is this a Kevin Smith bashing? Is that why you called this podcast
No, I
to order?
think he's just disappointed in Kevin Smith.
Well, I have a few things. I have notes.
We'll find
this week.
out.
Oh, Sean's got notes.
Got notes. All right, so let's just get right into it then. Unless there's something else you guys want to discuss. Let's see here. All right, so Masters of the Universe Revelation premiered on Netflix this week, or I guess last week, technically last Friday. COVID. And I was very excited about it. I think I am going to have to go get something to drink. I feel like I got something in my throat.
Pause
Anyway, nah. I'll wait till I'm choking to death and get that on camera. You'll get a lot of views from my death. So I'm always happy to help.
It's because you're vaccinated.
All right, so yeah, Masters of the Universe Revelation premiered Netflix, written, produced, overseen by Kevin Smith, a man I admire mostly for his early work. I try not to punish him for the sins of his latter day creations, but I've always admired the guy though. Like, he made Clerks. You know, he started maxing out credit cards, borrowing money, used money from a car accident insurance settlement to make that movie. It was hilarious. Mallrats, the first two movies were just fantastic to me. Always admired it. And he seems like a cool dude, pleasant and nice. So I was excited when, like, a year or so ago, maybe it was 2 years ago even, they announced that he was doing a He-Man series. But before we get into that, I was born in 1976. I'll be 45 this year. I was the target market for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe back in 82, 83, 84, 85. I think 82 was when the figures came out. The show came out in 83. So, I was like 6, 7 years old. It's probably one of the first things I remember, like one of the first TV shows I remember like loving besides like the Electric Company, because the Electric Company had Spider-Man on it sometimes.
And pop-up bubbles.
Yes. And it was not good, but I was a kid. I was happy to see Spider-Man anytime. And so yeah, probably 83, 6 years old. I have a very distinct memory, like the best Christmas I ever had before having my own kids and watching them open gifts. The best Christmas I ever had, I was at my grandparents' house on my dad's side, and like everybody bought me some kind of He-Man toy. I had vehicles, I had figures, I had like doubles of figures. It was like a haul. It was like a treasure chest and it was just like, it was literally the best Christmas I'd ever had. And then smash cut to like a year later of me putting all of them in a trash bag because they are all satanic. And so yeah, they're
not satanic. Your mom just thought they were.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. In her mind, obviously, any rational person knows that these children's toys, the only way they were satanic were in that they made little kids, beg their parents for toys and to spend money on garbage. But so yeah, she tossed all my shit, which I know I've told that story 100 times. So I have like a, unique relationship with the property. But I just remember loving it. I remember loving certain characters, and I think I just liked the setting a lot because it was, I knew I had seen Conan. I'd seen a lot of movies probably at that before like 1983, 84. I'd seen some movies that probably wasn't supposed to see when I'd go over to my grandparents' house and they had cable and stuff. And I had seen Conan the Barbarian. So to me, it was like Conan meets Star Wars. You got laser beams and technology, but it's also like high fantasy. It was, it was very similar to like Star Wars. And then it was on every day. You get to watch it every day.
Nice.
And the figures were huge. They were way bigger than my Star Wars figures. The big muscle bound, giant looking dudes. What's funny is they weren't really that much taller. I think they were only like an inch taller, but because they were so like big and broad, they just seemed huge. So yeah, I always loved the property. Again, I was like the ideal target market. Rob, you were older than me. What was your relationship to He-Man, if there was one at all?
I was like 10 or 11. Is that right?
Yeah. So you were 4 years. I think you're 4 years older than me. So you're probably like 10, 11.
Man, I don't remember. I think they bought the toys for Steve. I'd watch it with Steve.
Yeah.
I mean, I was still young enough. Well, hell, I still watch cartoons.
Yeah.
I still enjoy cartoons because we couldn't watch them Saturday morning after I turned like 7.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, can't watch cartoons anymore. So like, as soon as you get home from school, it was like, watch the cartoons,
But did you remember the show?
Yeah, I remember the show.
So you remember characters and all that?
Yeah, Man at Arms. I remember Evelyn. I don't remember some of the other, like Moss Man. I don't remember Moss Man for some reason.
I remember Moss Man, the figure, more so because he was like flocked. He had that flocking, and then he literally smelled like pine. They had made him scented.
I did
like
not
those
know
shitty pine car air fresheners, and like over time he just started smelling really gross.
Did you have? You had.
I had Battle Cat.
Yeah, you had Battle Cat.
That's what you guys told me. I don't remember. You guys said I did.
Yeah, so. He had Battle Cat, He-Man, and Skeletor.
I don't even remember He-Man or Skeletor.
And I think he had Men at Arms.
Okay.
I don't remember any of the other characters.
I was 4. Like, I know I watched the show, but I don't remember. For some reason,
maybe you watched it with me.
Probably. For some reason, Merman, he sticks out. Like I know Merman,
Yeah,
and obviously
I remember that
He-Man and Skeletor, obviously, figure. But like Triclops and Trapjaw and those other ones, I don't really like. I know, I recognize them. I couldn't have said their names to you, So my memories weren't as fond of He-Man as yours.
I was still into Star Wars though, probably because 83 was Return of the Jedi. So
yeah,
I mean, everything else was cool, but it wasn't Star Wars.
Yeah.
But
I
remember it pretty vividly.
I remember Castle Grayskull,
which is good for me.
Yeah.
You had some kind of other figure though, besides Battle Cat.
Shawn's like, I hate you. Like,
I had a bunch of toys too. No, dude, you were young though. You were real little.
What did Men at Arms drive? Didn't he drive some kind of weird looking thing?
I have no idea.
I think he did have maybe some kind of tank or something.
Some type of vehicle that went with that.
I think he may have had a tank or something. I don't remember everything, obviously. All right, so, but if you go back, so I've had the original cartoon in my Rob. If you ever want to watch it, I have all 130 episodes plus the Christmas special plus the She-Ra crossover movie and all that stuff in my Vudu. If you go into my TV section, just FYI.
Now, what are these like? Are they any good after you're older and rewatch? They're bad.
No.
It was the 80s. Everything. There's not too many good things.
So this was early 80s too. So it has kind of like that Hanna-Barbera animation. It's not very good. There's some rotoscoping and stuff that's kind of weird. And it was of the era much like later on with Ninja Turtles, even where you didn't see like He-Man like never used his sword almost. Like he was always throwing rocks or throwing people, or you'd see him like throw a punch right at the camera kind of thing, as opposed to, you know what I mean? It was like real.
Didn't they make a joke of that in this Revelations about using the
Yes.
sword? Okay.
Yes. They referenced that. And again, that was all the cartoons from that era. And then they always had like the ending where they'd give you a little lesson at the end, like, and that's why you should never tell a lie, or, you know what I mean? It was always like really stupid stuff like that. And it was, it was one of those things. And if did you watch like the Toys That Made Us about it by chance?
I know I watched most of those. I probably did.
It's really good though, like how quickly they had to throw together this cartoon and stuff. Because it was like a big hit, caught on real fast. And, one season of cartoons is like, to be syndicated, you have to have 65 episodes. So they had to come up with like 65 fucking episodes. So, they're just hiring writers left and right to get this stuff thrown together. And I was watching an episode the other day though, because I do like to revisit it. I'll watch like an episode or two, usually on Saturday mornings. It's a nostalgia thing. I don't pay too much attention to it. I just kind of have it on while I'm playing on my phone or whatever. But man, there was a really funny one the other day though, where, I don't know, Skeletor's complaining about his patients wearing thin, and Beastman and Trapjaw aren't paying any attention. He's like, what? You're not thin. If anything, you're getting fat. It was like, I was dying, dude. Because it was just like you couldn't even do that nowadays. I don't even know if they knew how funny that was back then. But yeah, so I'll put it on, watch a few. It's just kind of like a comfort food thing. It is not good. So, I mean, it was literally the cartoon. If you watch any of those behind the scenes thing, it was literally created to sell toys. Like that was it. It was like the first of that kind of movement.
And then, I'm sorry. Is that why it's so popular with people today? Because they think of those toys they had growing up, because you said the show wasn't that good. So,
well, as a kid, again, you're looking at it as a 6-year-old, it was great. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a kid, it was great. It was on every day, it was fantastic.
Think of the 80s television that was on primetime back then. It's total crap. Mm-hmm. Everything was crap back then.
You watch Knight Rider now and it's terrible, right?
But watch Airwolf. Have you watched Airwolf?
Oh. What are you saying? MacGyver wasn't any good?
MacGyver wasn't bad. MacGyver was a little bit ahead of his time.
But it was still cheesy though. And this was aimed at a specific age group, and you didn't have to spend a lot of money or put a lot of effort into the storyline. Kids just wanted to see, and that was really the draw, I think, was just the cool looking designs. Every character looked very unique and stood out, and the swords, the big muscly, everything about it just appealed, like went right to like that part of my brain, man.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of kids, obviously, and I think it's just like, it's like Star Wars. It was on. Again, this was the era of 5 channels. There wasn't a lot on, yeah. And so when you found something like this, it was just amazing. So no, it's not good. But as a kid, I was 6. I wasn't discerning.
Yeah,
lasers, swords.
I was just thinking today. Why so many people want it.
Well, it's the same. It's just the same as Ninja Turtles. Mm-hmm. No, it's just the same. Transformers endures. G.I. Joe endures. That's the same era.
I mean,
it's the same thing.
Do you think Paw Patrol is like ahead of its time?
I don't see. Yeah, but I don't see my kids growing up to be like, oh, I can't wait to see the remake of Paw Patrol.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's a difference too. Again, going back to the 5-channel thing, we were your kids have literally infinite entertainment at their fingertips. Mm-hmm. They have YouTube. They have on demand, whatever. You have 47,000 DVDs behind you, from what I can tell. It's just a different time. Like, people didn't own VHS tapes back then unless they were blank and they recorded shit. You know, you didn't know people that had VHS libraries. I'm sure there were, but
we would shut it off and then we would go out and use our imagination. Now they just click to the next thing available.
Right
when they're done.
Right. It's just a different thing. It took up a lot of your mental space as a kid, I think, and you'd go out and reenact it, and you'd have the toys to buy. Kids aren't even that interested in toys anymore.
I definitely remember me saying, I have the power. I know. I remember me saying that. And
I remember you loved Thundercats. Like, that's one thing I remember we played a lot. We would role play Thundercats.
Go. That was, I think, now when did Thundercats come out? A couple of years after that?
Yeah, it was like 86. I think He-Man and G.I. Joe kind of really started that cartoon commercial for a toy boom, basically. They both came out, I think, in 83. They both had huge toy lines, and that's basically what they were designed to do, was to move toys.
Yeah.
And then Transformers showed up, and then you had Thundercats, and I think things just kept piling up, basically.
I think that 3-year difference between me and you, that was, why you like He-Man more and I like Thundercats more, probably.
Yeah, it makes a big difference when you're younger. 3 years is a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
So then let's fast forward, and you guys probably don't even know this. So back in 2002, which is the year Logan was born, in late 2002, they rebooted He-Man on what's the anime? Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network.
And I was stoked. There's only one other person I knew, my friend Marcel, that was like even excited about it. And that cartoon was great. It's 2002, so it was modern. It was a more modern take. You actually had, he was able to attack each other, more mature kind of approach. It was still geared towards children, but not nearly as immature, and it wasn't 80s, so it was actually really, really good. So He-Man actually had a reboot that most people don't even know about. It lasted, I think, 26 episodes, I want to say. Less than, I don't know, I think it was less than 40 episodes, but I watched most of them. I have them all on DVD. Started rewatching those recently. I actually bought the DVD, the full thing, for my children when they were young, and I still have it. Trying to get them into it. The toys were amazing. They were sculpts by some guys named the Four Horsemen. Again, like a more modern take. A lot of attention to detail, a lot of detail, period, compared to like the 4 joints you got on the old figures, basically.
What'd you think of that series, those 26 episodes?
Dude, me and He-Man fans loved it. Like, the 2002 series was great. It was a great reboot. Really well done. Every He-Man fan liked it, but I guess it just didn't. It was on, again, most people weren't even aware of it. It was on Cartoon Network. It didn't get the attention. It could have just been a timing thing, but I think being on a cable channel and as opposed to something like Netflix, it just didn't get a lot of attention. You had to really kind of be aware of what's going on Cartoon Network at the time,
Mm-hmm.
What was it called?
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Oh, it's called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, that's right. Just like the original show.
Are you
He-Man
trying
and the
to
Masters of the
insinuate
Universe.
something about this next series?
Yes.
So now there was a movie in 1987, which I honestly didn't see until a couple years ago. Way better than I thought it would be.
Dolph Lundgren and Courtney
Yeah.
Cox.
Dude, I want to see that.
Yeah.
You
You should watch it.
I wanted to watch it a couple months ago. I just forgot.
Somebody else is in it. Some other guy. There's like some actors.
Frank Langella,
Yeah,
however you
Frank
say his name.
Langella.
He plays Skeletor. But dude, so by 87, by the time that movie came out, I had aged out of He-Man. I was, by 1987, in that time, again, because when you're a kid, it's just different. I was just like, oh, that show, that was for 6-year-old Shawn. I'm fucking like, I'm like 10 now. Like, get the fuck out of
I'm
here.
too old for that.
So I never saw the movie until a couple years ago, and I thought it looked horrible. I remember seeing the commercials when I was younger. It was made by Canon Films, which is a notoriously low budget studio, but they had. I remember, like, I could tell by the commercials that it didn't even take place in Eternia for the most part. It was so low budget.
It was on Earth. Yeah,
like He-Man gets. They end up having to come to Earth, and there's little kids. I was like, this is fucking terrible. And they had some hideous little dwarf named Gwildor instead of Orko, and just, it was very weird.
Oh yeah, they did.
And then so I saw it like a couple years ago, and for what it is shockingly good. Now, don't take that as like a hearty recommendation, but it moves. It's funny. Frank Langella, I don't know how to say his last name.
He's a good
Langella.
Skeletor.
It's
He fucking,
yeah.
he is all in on Skeletor, dude. And Dolph Lundgren's all in on He-Man, and it was not bad. And He-Man is He-Man the whole time, and then Tila and Man at Arms are like the other characters that are in it. And for what it is, and for its budget and everything, I would recommend this movie. Again, caveats to that, like I'm not offering comparisons to Star Wars or something like that. It's a low budget movie.
It was on the same level as Tomorrow War.
I may have over exaggerated my
hey man,
my last take.
You like
that.
What you like. Don't let us.
I had just watched it. It may not have been great, but I definitely had fun.
I think listeners are learning that that it's hard to trust Steve unless they share the same sentiments he does, which is he just kind of loves everything a little bit.
At least for 3 to 5 days.
Yeah, once it wore off, I was like, well, it wasn't great, but I definitely enjoyed it.
Hey, man, it was entertaining.
Yeah, it was fine. It was a fine piece of entertainment. Yeah. Like, I don't have any strong feelings about Tomorrow War other than...
I didn't even try and break it. Yeah, go ahead.
It should have been a half hour shorter. That was my biggest takeaway was if this was a half hour shorter, it would have been a lot better.
Dude, when he uppercutted that monster at the end, I was like, this is the fucking shit, man.
That's why you like Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. Well, first of all, he cut his throat with his own fucking nail, and then he fucking wham! Like, when do you get to see somebody uppercut a monster? It was just like...
And he's human. He doesn't have superpowers.
Will you fucking die? Just die!
I liked jacked, what's his face?
J.K. Simmons.
Oh, dude, he looked great.
Beefed up J.K. Simmons.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
That was the best part of the movie.
It was good. It wasn't great. It was good.
Another thing, an issue I had with that though, if we're going to get into it, is the fact that
we're not
like they spend so much time talking about developing this thing, and like everything hinges on developing this poison or whatever, and then like they use it on like 2 creatures. It's like, okay. That was like that was the worst MacGuffin ever.
But they went back in time so they wouldn't have to use a lot of it. They're like, well, if we can kill it
they
now.
Injected it into like the one, and then they just stood there and watched, and like, no, you start like, what are you doing? It was a little annoying.
How about when they injected the queen and he's like, yes, and then the queen just bit her arm off? Yeah. He's like, that was awesome.
Yeah, awesome it was okay. It was cool. I guess I just wasn't as invested as you were.
He was like, finally, I got this bitch. I got her.
And I'm not breaking down that movie.
She bites off her own arm to stop the serum.
I am not breaking down that movie. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining.
I thought the concept was
I'm not going to try and like diagnose the time travel and the paradox shit because it's not worth it.
I enjoyed them getting dropped. You know, they thought they were going to get dropped in some safe zone, and then there's just people like fucking hitting the concrete. A couple people survived.
Yeah. That was cool.
Like some people were just getting, eviscerated on the pavement. But anyway, cool sorry. Back to He-Man.
All right, so the 2002 reboot was not a
commercial
financially
success. Yeah,
right. Wasn't commercially successful, but He-Man fans loved it for what it was, and moved on. And then again 2 years ago, so now we're back to like 2019 or whatever, when they announced this new Netflix series, and I was so stoked, so super hyped. And then I watched all 5. There's going to be 10 episodes. 5 of them have aired, and I have a lot of mixed emotions about this series because, well, for a lot of different reasons. But basically, so that they took the name He-Man away, and a lot of people caught on to that right away. Now, however, the movie was just called Masters of the Universe. So in my mind, I was like, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is a long, cumbersome title. You don't really need to have the He-Man in there. We all know what Masters of the Universe is. It's He-Man, right?
Right.
We all know that.
Right.
Evidently not.
Everybody's on it. So yeah, we all know that. And apparently some of the creative staff did not know that. And so full spoiler warning. Go watch the Netflix series. If you haven't watched it yet, we're going to go deep on this shit, spoiling absolutely everything in depth. So this is your time to turn off the podcast. Please go watch it if spoilers are an issue for you. Otherwise, we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. They fucking kill He-Man
twice.
In the first episode. They kill He-Man. This is a problem. Because then you don't see him again until the 5th episode, where you don't even see He-Man in the 5th episode, actually. You see Prince Adam, who tries to become He-Man and gets stabbed in the spleen and is left bleeding out in a cliffhanger ending. Now, so
they killed him twice.
So, but basically, the main thing is not only did they kill He-Man, they got rid of Skeletor. Do you know what the two most popular He-Man toys are? And by the way, I haven't researched this. I'm pulling this out of my ass, but I will stand on this like a Trump supporter. He-Man and Skeletor. Those are probably the two best-selling He-Man toys. Like, it doesn't take a genius to figure out so what do they do? What do they do? No Skeletor, no He-Man. Let's explore all these other characters.
He-Man
Which would
Revelations. They're revealing something new.
Yeah, I think they're just.
It's not He-Man. It's Masters of the Universe.
It's Masters of the Universe Revelation, and from what I can tell, the revelation from everything they're leading up to. And again, if you guys probably aren't familiar, this is not a spoiler, by the way, because this is all in the old episodes. But if you couldn't gather, Teela is the sorceress's daughter. So I think the revelation, and Man at Arms tries to reveal it at that one point in the show where he's like, "I need to tell you something."
We don't have time for that.
Yeah. Right. And then you earlier on you hear the sorcerer tell Teela, I wanted to see you one last time, and Teela's like, what? And there's actually an episode. There's episodes where in the '83 series where they reveal that Teela's the sorcerer's daughter, and in the 2002 series. So it's known amongst He-Man fans. If that's a spoiler for you guys, sorry, not sorry.
You spoiled it, but I don't really care.
But it can't be a spoiler because it's just it's already been revealed. This is not like it's there's 130 episodes of this out there.
Yeah, I don't remember it. So it's spoiled, but I don't care.
So yeah, so from what I can tell, like they're setting her up to be the new sorceress, and so I think so. Anyway, so there's a lot of fan outcry now on the internet that's getting review bombed on Rotten Tomatoes. Now here's the other thing though, as a series, I actually like it a lot. So this is the complexity of how I feel about it. I love the approach to the characters, giving the characters depth. The voice cast is great, except for Sarah Michelle Gellar, who's okay because she just did Sarah Michelle. You notice how everybody really sounds like they're out of like Game of Thrones. You have the guy from Game of Thrones as Man at Arms.
Because Lena
Headey is Liam Cunningham,
Evelyn, yeah.
But you even you got Mark Hamill, Diedrich Bader, Alicia Silverstone even sounded like regal and of a certain fantasy time period. And then you have the very anachronistic sounding Sarah Michelle Gellar. And I love Sarah Michelle Gellar. I do, but she's just very like, what's up, guys? And it just stands out to me.
I didn't even know I was watching He-Man Masters of the Universe or whatever I'm watching. I thought I was just watching an episode of Buffy. Like that's all I thought I was watching. Like 6 episodes of Buffy or whatever, however many there were. Yeah, He-Man, very limited. It's so far. And it's on part 1. There's 2 parts. I mean, come on.
But here's the issue. This could have I read an interview with Kevin Smith in Variety from like last week, right? Variety.com. And he's interviewed, and this is what he says. This is the issue here. So Kevin Smith is older than me. I think he's closer to Rob's age. Actually, I think he's older than Rob. All right. So they asked him to do it, and let me find where he talks about his response. First of all, and by the way, our mutual friend Keith, bigger He-Man fan than I am.
Yeah,
did not know that.
We were just talking to him about it at Frisbee Golf.
He knows more about He-Man than I do. I had to kind of go back and brush up on some stuff, but he's bought toys recently. Like he's a huge He-Man fan, and that's good to know. But so they ask him about doing it, and what does he say here? God damn it. I can't find it now. All right, I'll just tell you what it said. I'll just paraphrase what he said. Is that he was too old for it, and he said he hate watched it, is how he put it. He hate watched the show because it was the 80s and it was on, but he was older, so therefore, and again, like I was saying earlier, you couldn't have, people getting stabbed and sword fights and all that stuff. So he said he hate watched the show. He kind of hate watched it. Probably not the best person to put on as the creative lead when they say, I hate watched He-Man. It's kind of like, what would be something? It's almost like putting J.J. Abrams on a Star Wars movie. A guy with no talent, and no love of Star Wars and being like, do Star Wars.
Wait a minute, I'm confused. I thought you said you enjoyed this series.
We need
at the same time.
We need a segment where Shawn just shits on J.J. Abrams. I think every podcast has.
No, he does that every week. We have a segment. It's called Shawn.
It's called the podcast.
Somehow he gets in J.J. Abrams and just shits on him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, here's the quote. I found the quote. I almost hate watched it because I was like, this show is for babies. This show is for babies.
Almost.
So,
keyword almost hate watched it.
No, that's not a keyword. He hate watched it. That's a weird phrase.
I'm pretty sure it just said almost hate watched it.
I thought he was a big He-Man fan. That's why he was doing it.
Well, he did.
Nope.
I mean, he hate watched
money.
it. I thought he said he hate watched it. I thought he grew to love it once he hate watched it.
He did He-Man because they won't let him do a Marvel, evidently. I don't know.
Right? And that's what he says later in the interview. He's like, I'm going to MCU this shit, basically, is what he said.
Yeah.
So now it sounds like I have two personalities and they're conflicting with each other. But so here's the issue is he killed He-Man and Skeletor in the first episode of the goddamn He-Man show. That's a major issue for a lot of fans. And then you have the bullshit on, and this is where it gets annoying, is when you go in the comments thread or whatever, and you have the people who are just like, show sucks, no He-Man, which I'm like, well, I don't exactly fully identify with that person. And then you have the next person who's like, oh, you're just a baby who doesn't want your masculinity challenge. And it's like, it's not a gender issue, you fucking moron. Like, how about you get handed a creative property that is well loved? How about, like the 2002 reboot, you respect it and work within those boundaries and realize maybe don't kill He-Man in the first episode. This could have been easily sidestepped if, say, there were 5 episodes before they killed He-Man. If we had gotten 3 to 5 episodes of He-Man adventures and then they killed him, it would have been like, oh shit. But no, it's just like, we get this new series. The animation is amazing. The voice cast is amazing. The writing is fucking really good. And the first thing you do is kill He-Man. But why?
Hey, and
why do that?
Not only you killed him, then you kill him again. So even in part 2, like He-Man, even if there's He-Man involved in part 2, he's going to be like recovering from a stab wound or something, so it's not going to be like full on He-Man. I'm guessing it'll be full on He-Man like one of the last episodes,
And that's a possibility. Go ahead.
40 years of Skeletor trying to get Grayskull, and he got it in the first effing episode.
Right.
40 years. I mean, all those episodes never got Grayskull. He finally got it. And then it was like the first episode. I'm like, all right, that's it. He's done. There's nothing else to do. He's got the power of Grayskull.
We should get to see more Skeletor in part 2 then.
Well, yeah, I hope so.
So he's Skelegod now. Skelegod. That's what they're calling him now. So obviously, He-Man, they need to get the Power Sword back so that Prince Adam can turn into He-Man and be instantly healed, because that's what will happen.
How that works?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what would happen.
I didn't know that.
But
sword works.
Again, all they had to do to not piss off the fans, and that's the thing too, is like, you have a fan base. Yes, you do have to appease them to some degree, and while at the same time, yeah, of course, let people get stabbed, let characters get killed. Let characters have emotional story arcs. That's all fine. Don't kill off the main 2 dudes and then expect people to be like, yeah, this is fine. Mm-hmm. It's not fine as a fan. It's just not. It's a stupid move. Yes, it's a children's show. I didn't realize I was so passionate about He-Man still. But obviously this new series is geared towards adults. If Rob could sit through the whole thing that quickly, there's clearly something there that appealed to him.
Kevin Smith was really happy about killing He-Man off twice.
Yes, because he hate watched the show.
Yeah, because I watched them do like a little special to promote the show, and they were interviewing a bunch of different people. And then like he said, "Can you believe it? We killed He-Man twice," or something like that.
Yeah, he's very proud of this, and it just doesn't make sense because we wanted to see He-Man. The He-Man fans wanted to see He-Man and Skeletor, and you immediately remove those elements from the show.
All right.
Immediately.
So here's where I'm at on this. Is this a marketing ploy? I mean, he knows he was going to piss people off. Look how many people are talking about this crap. Like in 2002, nobody was talking about it because they did a great job. and it garnered no attention whatsoever. So you do something wacky like this, you get people like Shawn that wants to do a whole podcast on it, and
he's like,
guess what?
We gotta do a podcast.
Guess what? Free publicity coming out the wazoo.
And if he can salvage He-Man in part 2, then there's going to be so much talk for a second season.
And that makes me wonder why they did 5 episodes, piss people off, get people talking about them, get them come back, and then you kind of, I don't know. Yeah. We'll see.
But did they go too far?
Honestly, I think it's Masters of the Universe. I think, I sent out a text to you guys, I wonder if they're going to, each season kind of focus around a character.
Yeah, I guess the question is, do you see people being so angry they don't watch part 2?
Okay, so our friend Keith will not watch it. He watched the first episode. He will not watch the rest of the series. He watched one episode, and he was so furious. He didn't even care. And even though I told him, I was like, dude, despite the fact that you are angry and you rightfully so, the show is still worth watching, in my opinion. It's still worth watching.
He reiterated that same statement to us when we were with him. He's like, I'm done. I turned it off. He's like, I'm not.
Which I have mad respect for. I'm like, wow. You know how I'll keep going to see any Star Wars movie, even if Patty Jenkins is doing it or whatever.
Right.
Like Keith is like, he really holds the courage of his convictions. I do not.
Yeah.
And so mad respect for that. But I think most people, however, are not like Keith, and I think they'll just watch it out of curiosity. I think a lot of people will claim they're not going to watch it. It's kind of like when I came out of Batman Forever and I said I would never see another Joel Schumacher Batman movie. And then, 2 years later, here I am walking out of Batman and Robin. So I think most people aren't self-aware enough to realize that, hell yeah, they're going to tune in. They want to know what happens next. And again, it's a good show. It's well written. And it does. So it focuses on Tila. So that's the other aspect that you have certain people, you have a lot of people, and again, this is the internet, this is a fraction of the actual population watching the show, but you have these people going, oh, the show is woke, you just wanted to write about a chick. There's a little bit of truth to that, because Kevin Smith, once his daughter got to a certain age, he kind of shifted to just being like pro-woman in everything he does, like super pro, over the top.
I noticed that. There's a lot of influence on him through his daughter. I've noticed that because I listen to his podcast all the time.
That's a good thing. He's growing up.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say it was wrong. I just say it's different. It's a different outlook.
It shouldn't apply to everything, though. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't apply to his own creative endeavors. Do what you want. Don't take a cherished property and then, foist that on there, though. Again, She-Ra had a reboot. I think 2018, 2016. It had 5 seasons. It's on Netflix right now. That She-Ra had her moment. It's out there. That's fine. So I don't know that that's necessarily the case 100%. He said something along the lines of like, well, Tila, she felt betrayal. So here's my issue. Again, looking at this as a writer, of why he completely fucked up in that. Oh, there goes my earbud. Giant ear hole.
There it goes. Getting too animated.
The way he fucked up by focusing on Tila, and this could have been any character. If he made it about Man-at-Arms, people would be just as upset. I guarantee it. It's just now they can say, oh, it's woke. And then you have the other people who are like, you don't like having your masculinity challenged. And it's all too much for me. It's like, okay, none of this is accurate. The issue is taking the focus off of He-Man again and Skeletor. It could have been about Man-at-Arms. It could have been about Orko. It could have been about Ram Man, my favorite character, Ram Man. And I still would have been upset because it's like, where the fuck is He-Man? This is the He-Man show. I don't care what you call it. It's about fucking He-Man. This is what it is. So here's my issue.
Stop real quick. Who's Ram Man?
He had a big...
You have to Google him. Yeah. Google Ram Man.
Okay.
Just Google him.
All right,
my favorite. He's a dopey dude. He's got a cool design.
All right.
He has things with his head.
All right. What's your issue? I'm sorry.
So here's and I don't know if, because I've watched it. I think,
remember,
like I watched it at least twice.
Oh yeah.
Now's it coming back.
So the whole thing with Tila, like the whole springboard for her journey, is she's upset that she's been lied to. The only people who know that Prince Adam is He-Man are the Sorceress, Orko, and Cringer, and Man-at-Arms. And I don't know if Cringer counts.
Orko knew.
I said Orko.
You said Orko.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
But so, and then again, it was revealed in the 80s show that his mom also knew, not because anybody told her, but as she said on the show, in the 80s show, she said, a mother knows her own son.
She wasn't stupid like the rest of them.
Right? Exactly. So she figured it out. However, here's why Tila isn't the best lead. Actually, Tila could have been a decent lead if her whole motivation wasn't being a selfish cunt, which is her total motivation, which is basically this. Adam dies. So what is she? So King Randor finds out. He doesn't even know that He-Man and Adam are the same thing. His mother knew. She breaks down in tears. Her son is dead. These people lost their son. So what does Tila do? Make it all about her. And she doesn't give a fuck that her friend of however many years is dead. She's mad that he didn't tell her he was gay or whatever, right? He didn't come out of the closet with her. So instead of being like, instead of being upset at his death, she's mad at this one thing she didn't know about him, right? And then that's reinforced later on when they go to Preternia, the Eternian heaven, and she's not even excited to see the dude. She doesn't even care about Adam being dead. And then when Roboto dies, the robot, she breaks down in fucking tears. This is terrible writing. I can't help but look at it that way. So she doesn't give a fuck when he dies, and then makes it all about her and quits her fucking job in a huff, making a goddamn scene, and takes off. And then when this robot dies that her dad made, then she gets upset. Then she gets emotional. Still angry at Adam because he didn't share this stupid secret, which didn't even matter. Like, again, this dude just paid the ultimate price. And she's like, fuck you, bro. Fuck you.
Hey.
How dare you?
Anger is a powerful emotion. It's hard to get over anger, man.
Yeah, I agree with
what?
You. That was like,
yeah,
I agree come on. I was like, come on, man. I was like,
she doesn't give a fuck.
She didn't even mourn, dude. I was like, come on.
She immediately is just like, fuck this job, fuck you, fuck you. You're not even cool. I'm out. That's what she does, basically.
You lied to me. Oh shit, get over it, honey. People lied to me. It's like,
they lost their son, and you just basically shit on his grave in front of them. That's your reaction, and we're supposed to be like, this is great. I like this character a lot. I relate to this character. She's a total cuntwad. I get it. I'm all in on this character.
And
what the fuck?
The motivation was really weak.
If you're gonna be a cunt too, like her voice, Sarah Michelle Gellar, just sounds like what a cunt would sound like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's brutal.
She was perfectly cast in Cruel Intentions. We'll just put it that way.
It was like,
Jesus. I've had watching Buffy. I've had sex dreams of Sarah Michelle Gellar. For some reason, I don't know why. I woke up one time and
she's hot.
I guess I don't know, but yeah, her voice is a little nasally. Cunty? It's not very attractive. You know what I mean? It's not a voice that would turn you on. Does that make sense? But I don't know. I was cracking out on Buffy, and I remember this to this day. I was like,
it's not like
holy shit, that was a good dream.
Not Fran Drescher.
I was like, I woke up like, hey, that was a nice dream.
I'm kind of attracted to like a bitchy tone. I don't know why. So
I don't think she sounds bitchy.
Are you attracted to Fran Drescher?
That's a different thing.
No. Is that too? Can you be attracted to that? Like what?
Not the voice.
What if she's?
I'm not attracted to anybody from Queens, is what I've learned, or Jersey, or whatever the fuck that accent is.
Yeah, Snooky. I can't.
Yeah,
that's ear piercing.
So yeah, that to me was just an epic failure, and like they could have come up with a much better motivation for her to go off on her own. And again, there's a lot of easy fixes here. Again, just give the fans a few episodes, He-Man and Skeletor doing their thing before you do that, and I think it honestly would have been fine. And then you explore the other characters. You explore Tila, you explore Man-at-Arms. You get Orko gets his big send off and stuff.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's like the first time, all right, you're angry, you bounced. But then when you see him in heaven, you still can't be like, hey, man.
No. She's not even happy to see him at all. Doesn't give a fuck. That is so poorly written, in my opinion. That
dude's got to die twice before she
Wait a minute. What happened when he got stabbed the second in the end? What was her emotions like?
I don't remember.
She was probably like, yeah, die, bitch. Fucking liar. You're just a liar. No one ever liked you.
She squatted and pissed on his open wound.
Right.
I
she went
have
and found
power.
like King Randor and Queen Marlena and was like, yeah. She took a picture of it and fucking texted it to him. Like, look at this shit. Again. Meanwhile, this dude has literally made the ultimate sacrifice. So not only she can live, she's alive because of his sacrifice. The whole universe is still alive. And then he gives up heaven. They're like, bro, you leave. You're dead forever. He's like, I'll make that sacrifice. And she's like, fuck you, bro. Like,
wait a minute. What happens in the original cartoon? Are they love interests?
She is, Tila is infatuated with He-Man, not Adam.
Oh,
she has a crush on He-Man that,
it's like Superman and Lois Lane. Okay. You know,
yeah.
He's attracted to Superman, not Clark Kent.
Well, then it makes sense. Right. Then she doesn't give a shit about Adam. Then
no, that's who she spent her time with was Adam. Though she got to live in the fucking palace, and as Keith pointed this out, got to give props to Keith. She has a little line where she's like, "This little orphan girl is in the first episode. This little orphan girl is gonna prove herself as the new Man at Arms or whatever." And me and Keith was like, "Bro, she was adopted by Man at Arms from birth." And she lives in a fucking palace. Like you had every fucking, you had every advantage in life, every privilege in life. And you're like, I was just an orphan girl, she says in the palace throne room where she's friends with the prince. Like, it's so poorly done in an effort. It just reminds me so much of Force Awakens and Rey and J.J. Abrams and like, do you know you can be a strong, likable woman, right? You don't have to be a cunt. You can be you can actually just be a strong, likable character.
So they're trying to force the wokeness,
I don't think so. I just think it's bad writing. I didn't feel.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The writing's bad because they had to try and force it.
Overall, I didn't think it was a horrible series.
No, I didn't either.
It's not. I mean, but I agree with everything Shawn said, and I noticed that too. I'll tell you one thing I did realize. Orko? Like, I remember the TV show. That dude was annoying as crap. I always wanted him to die.
See, because you were older. I loved Orko as a little kid.
See, yeah, he always annoyed. He was the Jar Jar Binks, like a prequel to Jar Jar Binks. Mm-hmm. Not quite as annoying as Jar Jar, but I always like, oh my god, this guy's just an F up.
I don't even remember that.
I was like, come on, man. I mean, after a season, it got old,
Mm-hmm. And again, 6 or 7 though.
I like how they
love Orko.
They did a good job. I liked him in this series.
Yeah, I
was like, I actually like Orko.
Yeah.
I like the dynamic with him and Evil Lynn. I thought that was good.
Dude, so let's talk about the stuff I did enjoy. So like when you first turn it on, there's these wonderful paintings. The paintings that of the artwork that was on a lot of the vehicles and stuff. I don't know if it's the same artist, but it looks like the same artist. So there's like, I don't know if you remember, but it's paintings basically from that era. Amazing. Was all in, right? I was all in. I was like, this is amazing. This is perfect. And then most of the Man at Arms is great. He's one of my favorite characters. Who else did I enjoy? Mark Hamill as Skeletor for the 3 minutes we get to see him is amazing.
I know.
Lena Headey as Evil Lynn.
Great. She's great.
Fucking all in on that character.
Henry Rollins was Triclops.
Is
he really?
How awesome was that?
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. That whole cult thing was so cool.
I kept thinking Men at Arms was Liam Neeson at first.
That's what Maggie said. I was like, no, it's Liam Cunningham from Sir Davos.
They do sound similar though.
They had Jason Mewes as somebody, I forget his name.
Oh, really?
Stinkor. He had like one line.
Yeah.
And Sarah Michelle Gellar honestly is fine. Like I said, she's a little anachronistic in that she's not doing like the high fantasy voice.
She didn't bother me. I didn't.
She didn't bother me. She just stood out because she was just doing Sarah Michelle Gellar. You know what I mean? Everybody else was like playing a role, and she was like, "I'm going to be Sarah Michelle Gellar." Yeah, and that's kind of how she did it. And,
I love her too. Buffy's like one of my favorite shows. So
I don't even really like Buffy. I just like Sarah Michelle Gellar. She's hot. I think I liked her more in the movies. I know you did last summer.
Yeah, I don't know if Keith will talk
Scooby Doo.
I don't know if Keith will talk
Scooby Doo. Love the
Like
Scooby Doo
Buffy.
movies.
What'd you say?
I said I don't know if Keith will talk to us anymore after saying we like Buffy.
Oh, he still talks to me. I said I listen to Taylor Swift, and he still talks to me.
That's true.
He's cool like
his
that.
brother does.
But yeah, so there's a lot of elements I liked. And again, I liked going in deep on the characters. And I think people could have overlooked it if we had just got to spend some time with He-Man again. That's really all it would have taken. 3-4 episodes of He-Man and Skeletor before you wipe them out and start focusing. That's really, it's an easy fix. It would have been an easy fucking fix. I have hopes for the next 5 episodes. I don't think He-Man is dead. I don't think Adam is dead.
No.
And
so can they totally redeem himself?
No. He can redeem himself somewhat, if you finish strong. But again, if he spends 4 out of these 5 episodes without He-Man and it's just Prince Adam on his journey not being He-Man, people are not going to like that. That's not going to go over well.
I don't see Teela's storyline ending anytime soon. That's all.
No, she's going to become, in my opinion, she's going to become the new sorceress is the only thing I can figure. And that's going to be instrumental in getting the sword of power back from Skeletor. So that then Prince Adam can become He-Man. And again, going back to the original series, watching episodes, that episode I watched just the other day, the hero of the episode was Queen Marlena because she used to be a pilot and she was the best pilot and she had to come and save everybody, and free Adam. So he could become He-Man and then free everybody. But so it's this whole angle of misogyny or whatever. You don't like seeing women, blah, blah, blah. Over 130 episodes, they don't just focus on He-Man, right? There's episodes about other characters where he's more in the background. He shows up, but there's Teela episodes. Nobody had a problem with it. It has to do with the fact that we're getting 10 episodes and we've had about 8 minutes of He-Man, in the first 5. That's really the issue. That's the crux of the issue. It's not a gender issue. It's just about you took this property and then, obviously the defense is, well, it's Masters of the Universe. Yeah, and that means fucking He-Man. You know what I mean? Like, that's what that means. Everybody knows what that means. You had 130 episodes, a movie, a reboot. They were all He-Man. It means fucking He-Man. It's a very simple thing.
Well, all I can keep saying is part 2. Part 2 is coming. I just don't see He-Man like just getting Adam getting up and like, all right, I'm good. Let's go.
Dude, literally, no. I think there was like 1 minute of screen time with He-Man. Maybe.
I know, right?
Yeah, and it was in the first 5 minutes. I think that was it.
You get the flashbacks, some of the flashbacks, which again, those could have been whole episodes. They could have just done whole episodes like that.
Well, she fought He-Man, but it really wasn't He-Man. It was that skeleton thing. Yeah.
I like that meme you sent me.
Oh, the Scareglow.
That meme you sent me from Jurassic Park where he's like, they got...
I made that. I made that.
You made that?
That's my meme.
That
yes.
was great.
Because that's immediately what I was like, so you do plan to eventually have He-Man in your He-Man series, right? That's all I could think. It was like, where the fuck is He-Man? And so when I was talking to Keith about it, we talked at length about it. I want to
see Ram Man on the show.
Me too. But Keith and I talked at length about it, and he was so... he had read a lot. I hadn't read anything. I guess a lot of people had already asked Kevin Smith beforehand, like, hey, you're not going to make this about Teela, or you're going to focus on He-Man. And Kevin Smith was adamant that this was going to be a He-Man centric series. And so that turned out to be a fucking lie. It's just a weird thing to do. You contract somebody who didn't like the show. He was too old for it. That's a problem. So yeah, you're going to get a guy who's just like, oh, let's do something crazy. Let's kill Han Solo. I mean, let's kill He-Man. You know what I mean? Like, you get a guy who doesn't care. He doesn't fucking care. He just wants to put his stamp on it, do something outrageous.
From listening to him talk about it, it doesn't seem like he doesn't care. Like
he's a salesman at this point. Like he's saying whatever he has to, but it comes across in what we're watching. Like, it comes through where his priorities are. It's on the screen what his priority is. He could have just as easily have given and I'm sure in the second half they'll give Prince Adam some sort of journey where we get in depth on his character, but they should have done that. They should have done more with He-Man up front, period. before you killed him. And like, that's all they had to do. If this was like a middle portion, if this was like the Empire Strikes Back of the series, I think it would have been much better, well received. But because it isn't, because like, this is where they started, they're just like, well, fuck that dude. And like, that's a problem. Again, you take the two most popular characters and just kill them off. People are going to be upset. And I think Rob is onto something though, too. A lot of that's probably intentional. Knowing full well there's going to be online hot takes and people being angry and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I think I got most of my He-Man stuff out. So it's weird. Again, well-written show. It is. I love going in depth on all these characters. I like Teela. I like Evil Lynn. I like seeing all these characters and kind of giving them some real in-depth personalities. And again, they kind of did that in 2002, but they were still a little hamstrung.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the show, and I think it's because I wasn't that into He-Man, I'm just taking it for what it is and watching every episode, and I'm
that's good because ultimately I just want there to be more episodes. Mm-hmm. I don't think he'll necessarily stay on as the creative lead, since he doesn't like He-Man, and people have realized this now. They're like, oh, he doesn't like He-Man. He literally said he hate watched it, and now we've seen, oh, he doesn't like He-Man. So maybe not the best guy to continue.
That's
probably not interested at this point because of the online backlash. But my hope ultimately is that they didn't piss off so many people. And I don't think they did. I mean, obviously there's less He-Man fans in the world than there are people who don't give a fuck about He-Man, right? It's a niche thing. It doesn't have that like that cachet of like a Star Wars or something like that. So I think there's enough casual viewers like you that will hopefully keep it so it's an ongoing thing.
You never hate watch something and then enjoyed it? When we were talking about Buffy, that was one thing that came to mind because one of the guys I used to work with, he was always like, you got to watch this. I was like, I don't want to fucking watch it. And then eventually we ended up like living together.
That's not hate watching. Hate watching is where you turn it on and you don't like it and you leave it on. Hate watching, that's what he was talking about.
I thought
that's
he was saying he was forced to watch it.
No. He watched it because it was the 80s. It was something that was on, but he hated it because he literally said they couldn't stab each other or anything like that. He was always picking up rocks and shit. So he hate watched it because he couldn't enjoy it on that level. But here's a counterpoint. Imagine if the next Buffy the Vampire Slayer series was all about Xander. And do you think people, like, if they rebooted Buffy and they just killed her off immediately and then it was all about Xander from that point on, like, do you think people would be receiving that very well?
Yes.
No.
Yes, because I like Xander and you didn't. I liked all the characters on Buffy. I can watch a whole fucking Willow. Man.
Xander's Orca.
But that's the thing too. Yes, thank you, Rob. I agree with Rob. I hated Xander. But also this would have worked fine. Again, if let's say they just did this show and they did focus on He-Man and then they had a spinoff, Masters of the Universe Teela, that would have worked fine. Just like, they had Angel, or if they did a show about whatever Allison Hannigan's character was. As long as you didn't call it the exact same thing and you were aware going in, hey, this is going to be about Allison Hannigan. This is going to be about Xander, whatever.
Right.
Now, again, you alleviate a lot of that online hate. Very simple steps they could have taken to avoid all this shit. But again, like Rob said, maybe it's intentional. Yeah. Maybe it's like,
I got a feeling it's intentional.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I just wanted to basically put that out there. All these stupid ideas that it's a misogynist idea. It's like, no, it's the property. People like a property. Don't fuck with the property. That's all. It's just respect the actual property. Don't come in and J.J. Abrams it all up. It's
and I'm not even on Facebook and Twitter, and I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah, but you know enough of we always sending you shit to your phone, so you know enough of what's going on.
Well, I see the articles about it. I don't care that much about.
I didn't know I cared that much. I care a lot.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't know you were such a He-Man fan, man.
Huge fan, apparently.
Yeah.
I think it's just something that came back. Like I said, I watched the 2002 series, bought the DVD, but it's one of those things where it's not around. So it's not really occupying a lot of my brain space. And again, I don't really know any He-Man fans. My friend Marcel watched the 2002 series and stuff we talked about a little bit back when we worked together. That was like the extent of it. Now I know Keith. Now I know Keith is also a huge He-Man fan, bigger He-Man fan than I am.
But he won't watch it, so you can't.
He won't even watch it. No, I don't even want to talk about it with him. That's fine. He'll listen to this podcast and he'll get the idea. I hope Keith does watch it. I hope he breaks down and watches it.
He's so goddamn busy. So he chooses his time wisely, unlike me.
Yeah,
where I fall asleep with stupid shit on.
Yeah. Speaking of stupid shit, I watched They Live like you told me to.
They Live.
You called that stupid? You're not allowed on your podcast anymore.
I didn't say I didn't like it, but it's stupid shit.
It is not stupid at all.
That was
stupid. You're gonna listeners, leave this motherfucker feedback. I implore you, please,
dude.
Let's hear your take on They Live.
Listen, I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said
stupid shit.
It was hard to watch.
You said speaking of stupid shit.
It was hard to it was
give me your take
of me coming in.
Live.
Wait. Can somebody tell me what we're talking about?
Oh, the John Carpenter film They Live.
Okay, that's right. I thought I've heard that title before. Is it a
Roddy Piper and Keith David?
Yeah, I remember that. That was like in the late 80s, 90s, right?
It might have been
80s,
it might have been cool shit when it came out, but watching it for the first time, it was watching stupid shit.
Yeah, he doesn't have a kilt on. He's like actually got like jeans and pants on.
There was a fight scene in this movie.
He cannot act. I remember that. He cannot act.
I mean, dude, I think
he was fine.
I just watched Space Jam. Roddy Piper
I did not watch
way better of a job than LeBron James.
I would rather watch They Live.
Get an Oscar for They Live.
Right. I didn't think he did that bad at all. And Keith David's the shit. I fucking love that guy. They got in a fight like in the middle of a parking lot, and I've never wanted a fight to end so much. Like, dude, it just kept going. I was like, for God's sakes, just put on the glasses, man.
That's what's so good about that scene. It's so overlong. It's the most ridiculous fight. It's so slow. It's not constant. It's not John Wick speed.
It was like
two old dudes fighting each other.
They just wanted a wrestling match for Roddy Piper, basically.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And I'm like, oh my God, it was like the end of Lord of the Rings. It's like Return of the King. It's like, is this over yet? Oh no, it's still going. And
there's another hour and a half.
He'd pick up the glasses sometime and then throw them or whatever. Like, oh my, I love that scene because of that. So to call this movie stupid, though, is that's an insult. This movie is all about consumerism and like government control, is mostly about consumerism. You know, buy this, buy that, how we're controlled by these corporations.
Yeah, no,
it has a very, very smart undercurrent to it.
No. So when I say stupid, I'm like, just what I'm seeing to me is just, it's goof. I didn't mean stupid. I meant goofy. That was maybe a better term.
It was a B flick.
Yeah, well,
that got released.
Yeah, John Carpenter only did B flicks. That's all he ever had the budget for.
Yeah, goofy is probably a better term. But like you said, dude, they were talking about shit that's going on today. Like, you know, like this shit. I was like, this was happening back then. Why didn't we fix that shit? You know, I was like, we're dealing with the same situation we're dealing with now.
Dude, history repeats itself.
I was like,
it's like going on forever.
I almost gave up. I'm like, I don't even care about anything anymore because it's the same issues are going back then when I was like fucking 5. You know, I'm 42 now. And
I thought we dealt with
Jesus, we haven't dealt with this shit yet.
I thought abortion was legal.
Dude, it was so depressing.
Next year, it's not going to be.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane.
But yeah, and dude, the creatures, the aliens were cool as fuck. Dude, that's
creepy. Creepy look. Yeah. Dude, when you have low budget effects, it's almost creepier, I find, like on those older movies when it's low budget and they try to do something, it's like, that's 10 times scarier than if they had done it well. You know what I mean? Like if the eyes were able to move, but the eyes don't move, right?
Yeah.
Just open. They don't like animate properly and stuff. So it makes it worse.
There was this guy at the end who basically tells them about everything. He doesn't know. He thinks they're part of the crew, but he just divulges all the information at the end. I'm just like, stop, dude, just stop.
Exposition dump, big exposition dump there. But
it was good though. I didn't see them killing Keith David. They just she capped him in the head. I saw her being in on it. I saw her. I don't know who the actress's name is, but I saw her being in on the whole thing, but I didn't see them just shooting Keith David in the head. I was like, oh fuck, damn. Yeah. And then he kills himself at the end, and he gives him a big fuck you at the end. I was like, this is great.
I think Dad and I went and saw that.
Yeah.
Because Dad and I watched a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean,
I never saw. I saw a scene where the dude puts on glasses, and then words are changed, and I thought he was just seeing like the X-ray of humans. I didn't know it was an alien species.
Yeah, obey.
It was 1988. It was the late 80s.
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like early 80s, but that's the budget. But anyway,
dude, how awesome is Keith David? That guy is awesome.
Oh, he's fantastic. But yeah, dude, that just that whole anti-consumerism slant, and I think a lot of it too. And I don't know when the idea of like subliminal messaging first came around, but I remember it was real big in the 80s. They talked about it at church all the time, all the subliminal messages on your albums and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of it tied into that. And then, plus just the Reagan era and everything like that. I think it's a great movie, and I love the ridiculousness of that fight scene. You get that great line, I came here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Yeah, I had no idea that shit was from that movie,
Yes.
There's this scene where he's in that woman's apartment, and she just knocks him out the fucking window.
Right. She's got coming.
She's got like a house on Malibu, so she turns, hits him, and just crushes, knocks him out this window. He falls like a Black Widow did. Only when he fell, he was struggling to get up and shit. And then when
knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, he was limping. And when she sees him again, she's like, "Oh my god, I thought you were dead."
Right?
Because dude, it was like all of a sudden she's talking to him. Next thing you know, she like turns around, elbows him, knocks him out of the fucking window. I was like, "Wow, I didn't see that coming."
Dude, I just thought it was like so creepy, like when he's in the stores and he starts seeing all the people.
Yeah.
Just like how many of them there were, like how deep they had infiltrated, and then they're all talking into their watches.
Yeah.
And dude, I thought it was just great. It's a great feature. It's a great idea. And again, aside from that super long fight scene, which again is hilarious, it's well paced. It fucking moves,
It was supposed to be that long.
What?
It was intentional.
What?
Yeah. Like you said, it's supposed to be like a wrestling match.
Yeah, wrestling match. Mm-hmm. They had to give that to Roddy Piper. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was definitely goofy.
Excellent.
It was definitely goofy. Yeah, like you said though, like what's scarier? Like when it's just basic, makeup and everything, but when they like turn and look at you, it's like it's so fucking creepy. Because like they'll have the camera shots where like it's shot from behind one of the aliens, but you can like see the side of their face, so it's an alien. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh,
it's so well done.
Yeah,
so well. I love John Carpenter. He's the king of the B movies, and yeah, he just nails it. Like his camera work is so far above a B movie.
Yeah.
And his storytelling, pacing, and everything like that. He just never gets the big budget, unfortunately.
What else you got? Any other suggestions, like old movies like that? Because I had so much fun watching that shit. It was like when I watched Buckaroo Banzai. I had no idea what I was getting into.
You never watched that?
No, man.
Johnny loved that movie. Yeah. He had it on beta.
Yeah, another one. Wow. It's just like, okay, I'm seeing this for the first time.
Well, dude, Masters of the Universe, man. Do Masters of the Universe. Yeah. It's hard to find.
Have you ever seen it?
Masters digitally.
Of the Universe?
No,
it was on TNT.
I'm going to do that. I wanted to.
Yeah,
I wanted
to find it.
I wanted to watch it.
Yeah, TNT, baby.
I don't have it digitally because I can't find it digitally. I have the Blu-ray of it, so you might have to get the Blu-ray.
There's a lot of movies out there that you try and find, you just can't freaking find them. They're like,
I was trying to buy digitally the other day, and I've been trying to buy it for a while, and I checked again. The fucking Burbs. Cannot get that movie digitally.
Wow.
Like you can rent it, you can't buy it digitally. And I'm like, please let me buy the Burbs. I fucking love the Burbs. Like, Maggie and I both wanted to watch it. And I was like,
Tom
I'm not spending $4 like it's 2001 and renting a fucking movie from 1988 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like 89. Like it just felt so. It's one thing to rent a movie that came out in the past year. It's another thing. It's like, this is from 1989. This movie should cost $6. Like, what are you doing here? I'm not spending $4 to watch this movie once. I need to own this. I have it on DVD out in the garage, and I should just buy the Blu-ray. But I don't have a Blu-ray player in our bedroom. We watch a lot of shit in there when we're going to bed at night. I just have like the Fire Stick in there.
I don't remember much of that, but I just remember that scene where at the end he's trying to like throw himself and the stretcher on
hilarious
onto the ambulance.
Comedy gold.
He's like,
comedy genius.
Get me out of here.
No, he says, I know the line. The line is, he's like, take me to the hospital. I'm sick. Like, and he picks up the gurney, like he's laying there, and he picks up the gurney and throws it in the fucking hilarious. Like, yes, it's so fucking good. Watch that if you can, since you haven't seen it. I've seen it 100 times. Like, I fucking love that movie. It's one of those.
You'll have to rent it.
Underrated classics, or just buy the Blu-ray on Amazon. So fucking funny. Just a great movie, man. Just it's got that 80s vibe to it.
Yeah.
Rick Dukeman's in it. Rest in peace. But he's fucking hilarious. Carrie Fisher's in it. It's so well done. And if you haven't seen it in a while, maybe the twists and turns will surprise you again. I don't know, but
yeah. I definitely do. I do want to watch Masters of the Universe, though. I need to watch.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that this week too, so we can talk about that a little bit next week. Gotta brush up on it. I was so surprised. I think so. I'm curious because I thought it was going to be so bad that's why I was impressed with it, because it was just like my expectations were so fucking in the gutter that I was just like, oh, this is a coherent story. That's shocking. You know what I mean? Like,
it was definitely.
I don't know.
I mean, that's why they put it on Earth. There's not. It's not great, but it.
So when does this part 2 supposed to be released for the?
Nobody knows. It could be later this year. It could be next year. I've looked multiple places. They haven't actually announced.
I didn't even know it. So is that season 2 or is this?
No, it's just the next part.
Oh, they're doing that crap. All right.
It's like 5 episodes and then another 5 episodes, and then they haven't talked about if there's going to be a second season or not.
I got you.
So, yeah, it turns out of all the 80s properties, I am most passionate about He-Man. That's what I found out about myself this past week. Did not know that. I thought I was more passionate about like Transformers. I am not. I am willing to sit through garbage Transformers movies without getting all that angry.
So you did not go see Snake Eyes?
No. It's coming to video in 45 days.
Dude, nobody went to see it. It only made like 13 million.
It turns out there's a pandemic going on. So they want to blame everything on like, oh, Disney, you fucking released it simultaneously. It's like, and there's a pandemic. Like, please remember there's a fucking pandemic.
Yeah, and we live in states that have like, well, our state is worse. We got like 30% vaccination.
Your state is really bad. Ours is actually a lot better. We're more middle of the road.
It boggles my mind, dude. There is something out there killing lots of people. And then there's this thing that is saving those people. And nobody wants to get the thing that saves these people.
And the president that those people love is the guy that started this, which makes no sense. And he's been vaccinated. It's mind-boggling.
Shawn sent me that video, that guy that caught corona, almost died, and then got out of the hospital. He's still like, I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, dude.
It's like it
I
is
just read an article about Missouri, I guess the Lake Ozark or something, and they're like proud not to be vaccinated. And all these kids are like, I mean, it looks like what do they call it? Spring break. I mean, it's like, you guys are stupid.
You know what? There's going to be
Missouri's getting hit hard.
Well, there's going to be a push for the vaccine on the Republican side because
they are starting to push it.
Yeah, because their voters are dying.
Right.
So like they're definitely going to try and push it here soon.
So I want to know. Okay, so you said you sent him the video of that guy in the hospital. I want to know what his health care is.
Yeah.
I want to know what his health care is. Does he have private health care, or is he on Obamacare? Or is he on disabled? Which is socialism. You know, is he you know what I'm saying? Is he on welfare? Yeah. Is he getting some type of benefit from the government? I want to know so bad. I know that's, but I mean, these are the people.
That's someone else's medical records, Rob.
I know, but you see what I'm saying? I guarantee you the guy doesn't have private. His insurance isn't through his work. It's incredible.
Today I was watching a little bit of today. They had the hearing with the police officers who were assaulted by the Blue Lives Matter people.
Oh yeah, I heard they were starting today.
I read a little bit about it.
So I read and listened to some of the testimony, and it blows my mind. So and it occurred to me today that I was like, actually, I don't know if it occurred to me today. Maybe it kind of crystallized more than anything, but I'm sure it's crossed my mind before. But the whole MAGA movement is basically, it's religious extremists. It's the same as, Islamic extremists or whatever. It's a contingent of this religion based on worshiping Trump that takes it so far that they're willing to hurt people and threaten the very people that they claim to support. The police officers, threatening them, and not only threatening, they attacked police officers. You hear the testimony, and it's like he's like, this is how I'm going to die. That's what he thought. He's going to get killed by the people with the Blue Lives Matter fucking patches on them, which is, again, just testament to how they don't have, what's the word I'm trying to think of? They don't have a dogma. Their dogma is Trump. Like, that's it. Like, everything they do is just based on what he says. They're not loyal to police. They're just like Trump. You know how Trump isn't loyal to anybody but himself? He's always like, this guy's amazing. This guy's great. Then the guy squeals on him. He's like, this guy was terrible anyway. He was always the worst at his job. You know what I mean? Immediately. Like, and
never heard of him. Never heard of him.
Right. Never heard of him. Whatever. It's immediately throw him to the wolves.
Photos.
Yeah.
And the most hardcore of his supporters are the exact same fucking way. And then you just have the people who aren't necessarily, willing to go overthrow the government. They might support it quietly. They're not willing to overthrow the government based on an obvious lie, but they're still sitting at home, not getting vaccinated, for reasons that are easily debunked with even just the slightest bit of, due diligence. You can go and find out this stuff that the stuff you believe is not true.
That's why strong leadership is so important,
Yes.
Just like it starts there.
It does matter.
And look what happens when you get someone.
Well, there's another. I saw an article in The Hill, and it was talking about, there's a pastor in Tennessee that bringing politics, man. I mean, when I was growing up, we didn't bring politics into the church. I mean, that's what it's all about now. Like, all these churches, man, they're all about, like, and he said something about, I don't care about this Democrat agenda. You don't have to wear a mask in my church, and we're going to meet, and it's like, dude, it's like, so what if you're a Democrat? So you're not welcome in church if you're a Democrat? I mean, it's just blows my mind, man.
Dude, once again, there is something out there killing people, and there's something there trying to save these people, but because it's politicized,
right?
It's like, dude, just get the fucking vaccines.
And I don't care what people do, but like, you could kill somebody else, man, and that's the thing.
Yeah,
you could kill somebody else. You
can bring it to somebody who,
right?
Maybe you won't get hospitalized,
right? But
you could bring it to somebody who ends up horribly.
Well, in that Missouri article, they were talking about the Missouri, like, this one lady, like, had. She was a younger person hanging out with all these people, and she was wearing a mask, and they were like shaming her. She had freaking cancer. You know what I mean? She was like taking chemo or something. And it's like,
the sad part is,
like,
this is the part that's fucked up. Is so this Delta variant is 1,000 times more transmissible, or whatever they said. So me wearing a mask, I'm vaccinated. Me wearing a mask doesn't really protect me, though, because it's airborne, right? Your eyes are open wide. So wearing a mask doesn't even really protect you either. 100% from these assholes who won't wear a mask. Like, if they're wearing a mask, then yes. If everybody's wearing, we've been over this in the past year, but if everybody's wearing a mask, then everybody's a lot more protected. However, like, I went out today, I wore a mask, and I'm like, it's stupid for me to wear a mask, because I know it's not really protecting me that much. Because, again, airborne particles, eyeballs, it's still very transmissible. And again, nobody around me is wearing a fucking mask. I went to the post office where they have a sign that says you have to wear a mask in the lobby. Nobody else was wearing a mask. The employees or the customers.
Employees weren't wearing a mask?
No.
I mean, they definitely are supposed to be wearing a mask.
Yeah, I've seen
that's like federal.
Most businesses I've gone into, all the employees had masks.
It cracks me up. HIPAA. No, it's got nothing to do with HIPAA.
No,
a private company can do whatever they want.
Right.
It's like, hey, dude, are you driving with a driver's license? Yeah. Right. Do you wear your seatbelt? Yeah. They taking away your rights?
It's
crazy, man.
Just please get vaccinated. If you're listening, just get vaccinated.
Try
to end this thing. We just wanted to end at this point.
Yeah.
Like watching that video, going back to the video I sent you guys, where the guy was saying, "I wouldn't get vaccinated." And the one thing he says that stands out to me is like, well, they're pushing their agenda. And the guy's like, well, what's the agenda? And he's like, to get vaccinated. It's like, yeah, fucking idiot. That's the agenda. To kill the disease. What do you think is bad about that? You fucking moron. To get vaccinated. I saw a tweet
as he's laboring, talking because he can't fucking breathe.
I saw a tweet today that said, "Hey, idiot, Pfizer isn't trying to kill you. They want you to live long enough that you have to buy fucking Viagra from them."
Yeah.
Which is true. You know what I mean? There's no agenda there other than to keep you alive, to keep consuming, to keep spending money. If you want to look at a conspiracy theory, that's what it is. They want you to live so they can keep getting your money. That's the conspiracy. They want you alive so they can have your money, so you can keep buying their shit and they don't have to pay taxes.
Consume, obey.
Yes, exactly. That's the conspiracy. And they're like, no, that's not it. They're trying to do something to me. They're doing something to me. There's no benefit to them to do something to you.
Well, like I said, there's going to be a push for vaccines along Republican lines because a lot of their voters have been dying recently. So, especially from the Delta. So,
shout out to my dad. He finally called me back after I called him yesterday.
Good job.
I wonder where it runs in the family.
What are you talking about?
That's where you get it.
You called
Evidently,
last night.
you get
I
it
answered.
from Dad. Yeah, you have been getting better. I will say.
Yeah. Not with me.
I gotta quit. I gotta quit.
Because if the phone rings and I am there and it's one of you guys, I answer.
Sorry, I missed your call.
That's how it goes.
Really been busy. Anything new?
Dad,
that's from my father.
Dad's been busy.
It probably took him 20 minutes to type that one sentence. God bless him.
I don't even call. I just call Mom and then talk to Dad because it takes too long for Dad to respond.
Did they get their new phones?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were ringing at the same time. Oh my God, you heard about this? That was when I was seeing how long. Remember, we were making fun of Steve to see how long it would take to get back about the Alexa. That was the same day.
Yes,
their phones were ringing at the same time. Mom was just she was in one of those moods, and she was like, "We're taking the phones back." I was like, it did this the first time. I was like, it's just a setting. It's really simple. It took me like 40 minutes. I had to calm her down. Then they're arguing. Bob, it's my phone.
You told me they were having problems with their internet, so I dropped in on them on Alexa. And dude, Mom was heated. She was like yelling at Dad. She was in the standing position too, and Dad was sitting down, like cowering underneath her. He's just getting yelled at, And I'm like, I'm just watching this with the kids. There's no audio though, because something's wrong with their internet.
Yeah, because it's like 10 megabytes.
Yeah, but the video worked fine, and me and the kids were. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at Brooklyn and Dominic, and I'm like, this is probably an invasion of privacy. I'm going to shut this off.
A little bit.
But yeah, so they were definitely having some issues there.
Oh, it was so funny. I was on the phone for an hour getting all that, and then our Alexa doesn't work. I was like, that's Steve's department.
Hey, when we get
I was like, did you unplug it? That's what I told him.
That's what I did. That's what it was.
I was like, there's probably a reset somewhere.
I said unplug it and plug it back in, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
So when we get that old, are we going to have problems with electronics? Is that just something that happens?
I think so.
Yeah, we're just.
I think so.
I think
at some point.
And I think I'm going to be cranky like old people too. I could just see it coming. I say I won't be. It's like I'm pretty laid back, but I think the older you get crankier, man.
I was gonna say I'm already cranky, so I'm already a cranky old man.
I want to be that old guy in the nursing home that's just like happy all the time, man.
Well, I mean, there's stuff to be cranky about. You're getting older. You know, the end of your days are coming. Everything hurts. Like there's reason to be cranky.
Yeah, no, it cracks me up though. Dad said he's really been busy. He's effing retired.
Well, he's
like, what are you busy?
He's doing all mom's work. He's probably doing the dishes, doing the laundry. Hey, I got.
Meanwhile, I worked 100 hours. It's like you're busy, but I had time to call you, man.
Hey, give him credit, man. He texted back.
Hey,
it's hard. He's not tech savvy. Like he's trying his best.
No, it's awesome. I'm glad my dad texted me.
Hey,
all right. So what's we got to wrap it up? What's going on?
Yeah, quick story before we go. We were on vacation this last week in Florida. You know where COVID's on.
COVID's on.
COVID is just
raging,
dude. Santa's hot spot.
My God! You love to go to Florida during the pandemic. That's your favorite thing to do.
We were once again in a house with our own private beach. We didn't go anywhere, so it's the same as it was during the pandemic.
Weren't you with relatives?
Well, I said the pandemic like it was over.
Relatives that don't believe in the vaccine.
Yeah, no, they got it. Well, no, my mother-in-law didn't.
The nurse didn't.
That blows my mind. Like she's a nurse. He's a doctor, but he got it. But anyway,
good for him.
And anyway, raging pandemic in Florida. But anyway, we went to this adventure land, like putt-putt golf and go-karts and all that stuff. And there was they had a 4D theater, and you could buy a package 4D theater and golf or something. So that's what we got. And then we get into this 4D theater, and there's 3 options you can choose from. There's like a mine ride, something else, and a Jurassic Park one, a dinosaur one. Yeah. So we get in, and this boy, it looks like he's going through puberty, you know, seats us in our seats, and he's like, well, the one Jurassic Park one's pretty scary. I don't know, you know, if the kids are gonna like that one. And I was like, all right, guys, so which one do you want to watch? You know? And Dominic's like, mine ride, and Brooklyn's like, Jurassic Park. I was like, he's like, that one's the scary one. And I'm like, I looked at Kristen and I'm like, all right, well, what do you want, Dom? He's like, you know, it don't matter. And Brooklyn's like, Jurassic Park. I was like, all right, we'll do Jurassic Park, the ride, or whatever this 4D movie is. So, you know, I'm assuming everybody knows what this is, this 4D experience, but it's the theater seats, and they have the subwoofers built in, and the whole thing moves up and down.
It's like a booth. It's like a booth, right? Almost like a...
no, this one's like a regular screen. It was like going to the movies, only your seats moved up and down. And like those,
did you have like water and stuff?
Yeah, they spray air and water at certain areas.
Yeah.
But a couple weeks before this experience, I was like, Brooklyn wanted to watch the movie Jurassic Park. And I'm like, I think you're a little too young for that, you know. But she's been enjoying scary stuff lately. You know, she's been wanting.
How old is Brooklyn?
She's 6.
Jurassic Park is perfect.
Dominic's 4. Perfect. And I was like, my
kids were watching Predator at that age. Just
I didn't think Jurassic Park was like scary.
I didn't watch it. Let me explain. Like, I didn't watch it with them because they both wanted to see it.
Okay.
But I was more worried about Dom because he loves dinosaurs, you know, and I didn't want him to get too freaked out. So fast forward to us at the Jurassic Park 4D theater. I've never been to 4D, so I didn't know. I mean, I knew what was going to happen, but I didn't know.
All right, wait a minute. Interrupt. Cut. Time out. So did you or did you not watch Jurassic Park with Brooklyn?
No, we have not watched Jurassic Park.
Okay. All right. Carry on.
Yeah. Well, there's like a cartoon, and Dom even seemed to be scared of the cartoon, you know. So I was like, maybe
being scared's okay.
Yeah. That's what I said. So we go in, and this thing is like, you are in the Jeep going through Jurassic Park.
Oh, it is Jurassic Park.
Well, no, it's Dinosaur World, but it's basically the same thing.
It's Jurassic
Park. They ripped out everything off.
It's like Cretaceous Place is basically what it is.
Exactly. So the big doors open up. We're in the Jeep.
Cretaceous.
The giant mammoth 2 doors open. We enter the park, and just like Jurassic Park, everything's fine until it's not. Next thing we.
Sorry, the dogs are going nuts.
Yeah. Next thing we know, dinosaurs are breaking loose. The little dinosaurs at first, nothing too bad. And then, next thing it starts moving, it's shaking up and down. Dom's terrified. Then the fucking raptors hit the windshield and bust through.
Crack.
Yeah, like their snouts, the raptors jump on the hood real quick and bust through the glass. And that's, there's 3D and then there's 3D,
So wait a minute. Do you have 3D glasses on?
Yeah, we have 3D glasses.
I've been on one of these, but it's been a long time. Okay, so
we have 3D
there
glasses.
Are actual plastic velociraptors.
No.
The 3D glasses.
No,
okay.
But when you're watching the 3D, some 3D is better than the rest of the 3D. And that was the good 3D when the raptors came through. So Dom's freaking out, dude. And meanwhile, I can't just get up, because the whole fucking seats are shaking, like we're strapped in. And he's fucking crying. Brooklyn's fucking loving it, dude. She's like, this is awesome. And this thing is like, I'm like, this is way too long. This is lasting way too long. The kid's
the longest thing I've ever done.
He's going to be traumatized. So then, we get past the raptors and we see the exit, and then all of a sudden, boom, 2 T-Rex, T-Rex hits our car, spins us around, and Dom's like, oh my God, and the car stalled and everything, So we're trying to start the engine, the fucking T-Rex is coming, fucking and he licks it, his tongue comes out, and that's when they spray the mist or whatever. So Dom's already traumatized, tears coming down his eyes, the fucking Jurassic Park T-Rex saliva's hitting him in the face. He's fucking like, oh, can we just get out of here? So we start the car, and then another T-Rex swipes his tail and ends up hitting our car and spinning us outside of the area, and then that was it. And dude, the lights come on. Dom's like, he's in panic mode. He's like, why did you make me do this? I'm like, Kristen, that was really bad parenting on our part.
Here, you want everything there?
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to
keep
spin
moving the screen on purpose.
But Brooklyn is loving it. She is super hyped, And I was like, yes, I got somebody to watch scary shit with me. So anyway, we calm Dom down. We get, he's like, all right, dude, we're going to go play some mini golf now. It's okay. It wasn't real. The mini golf course is dinosaurs. It's animatronic dinosaurs, dude.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so the first hole, there's a giant skeleton of a T-Rex that's moving and everything. Yeah. And it's saying, alert, fence is broke, dinosaur escaping. He's trying to hold his golf ball and he's fucking crying and shit. I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry, son. And then there's another point, we got past that and we're like, okay, that was they blew their wad on hole 1, they can't have all this shit. Then there's hole 6, there's you're putting and there's this, there's just this room and this door opens up and then this giant T-Rex comes right for you, So we had finally calmed him down enough to putt, and then it's all over again. And then I was just like, I'm sorry, son. I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, I don't want to play with dinosaurs anymore.
He's off dinosaurs.
I'm like,
you just put him off dinosaurs.
I'm like, you'll be okay, buddy. I was like, you'll be okay. You'll be okay.
You got to do with that is praise him and be like, look, you did it. You're here.
Well, that's what I tried to do. I tried to do that. I couldn't break through the tears, dude. He couldn't even look up. He was so scared. Me and Brooklyn are high-fiving, and Dom's like, no, don't like dinosaurs. I was like, okay. I just traumatized my son.
Permanent damage done there.
Yeah.
I think you do about it.
So that was an experience.
Hey, remember when that kid said,
yeah. I was like, why didn't I listen to the prepubescent teenager? Fuck. Yeah. Why did we do the mine ride?
So
would have been so
anytime
much better.
Araco says, I want to tell you this short story, don't ever freaking believe him.
Did I say short? I
don't remember.
Yeah, you did.
Quick story. You said.
Go on forever.
All right, sorry.
It's the
It's
Rocco
all good.
way.
All right, I just wanted to.
All right.
No, that's awesome.
I thought that was funny. What else you guys got?
It was a good story. It was good stuff. It's really funny because it's not my kids, so that makes it way funnier.
He's like pissing his pants on hole one. It's just like,
oh
I'm
my
sorry,
gosh,
son. I'm sorry.
Poor kid. He's such a sweet kid too.
He made it through. He made it through trembling.
Of course he did. He did. He's just, again, permanent psychological scarring. No big deal. All of us are fumbling our way through parenthood. No judgment. Trust
10
me.
years of therapy.
I honestly didn't think it would be that intense, dude. It was like a little fucking 4D theater.
Meanwhile, you wouldn't let him watch Jurassic Park.
Yeah, well, now I'm like, that was way worse than Jurassic Park.
I was going to say.
That's really worse. Great job.
Yeah, way worse.
All right.
Next to when you make him watch Jurassic Park, strap him in like you did with the 3D thing.
Oh my god!
That's so smart.
Clockwork Orange's ass with Jurassic Park.
Lock the door and strap him in the freaking theater seat.
Where you got the fucking clamps on the eyelids for him.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
All right, I do want to wrap it up because I'm starving, so I just want to go eat something.
What are we? We're doing Haunt.
We're doing Haunt. We're doing Haunt next week. Yes.
Okay.
As long as nothing else comes out that that brings up a lot of repressed memories, apparently. So
I will see you tomorrow when I talk about Masters of the Universe.
Yeah. Thank you for coming to my Masters of the Universe TED Talk. We will be back next week with Haunt.
Right. Hey,
yeah, that's all I got.
One real quick thing.
What is Haunt on?
Comicsology.
Okay.
Rob didn't even read it.
No, because you said we were going to do He-Man. I was going to read it last night.
I said that yesterday.
I know. That's when I was going to read it. Instead, I stayed up till like 1 o'clock watching Casablanca. It's on TV. It was on TCM, old. But there were no commercials.
Play it again, Sam.
That was a great movie.
Anyway.
Hey, I just want to say, where's that RoboCop poster? Why isn't that in the frame?
Because it's an odd size and I don't have a frame for it yet. It's the original. So most movie posters are like 27 by 40, like the modern ones. Mm-hmm. But back in the day, they were 27 by 41. So I gotta get a frame for it.
Your frame's going to cost you as much as the poster.
I was hoping, hoping to see that bad boy today.
You will see it eventually. I got to get a frame. It's in excellent condition. It is the centerpiece of my poster collection now because it's just so amazing.
Yeah,
yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. You gonna say bye or just?
Oh, I thought we were already done. Bye, everybody.
Nobody cares.
Appreciate you. Could you send me money? I'd like to do this and not have to work.
So, all right, and go visit Cretaceous Place.
Cretaceous Place.
Don't take bring the kids.
Don't take your kids. Don't take your kids.